Hi, and welcome back to Create. My name is Mark, and today we are making chicken and dumplings. For a full recipe, find it in the description box. Today we're going to show you how simple it is to make a homemade from scratch chicken and dumpling. So we've got our handy pot out, and we're going to actually make the broth. So we're going to go ahead and cover the chicken. We probably got about a 3.5 pound chicken in here. Make sure you get quality chicken when you go to purchase this because it's a very special recipe. So we're going to go ahead and let this sit on the stove for a couple hours. You can see here we're putting 2 teaspoons of onion powder. We're going to put 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. We're also going to put some black pepper in there, and we're going to put the celery and the onions in here. So this can steep. You almost want to poach it in a way, but you're not going to rapidly boil this. So this has to brew, and we're going to top it off with some thyme, some fresh herbs. So you don't have to have the fresh thyme if you don't want to. Some people don't even like the way it tastes, so you can go with the dried thyme as well. But we're going to put this on right now and cover it and let it steep, probably for at least an hour and 15 minutes. The chicken should be done. If you just want to check to make sure, you can actually use a temperature gauge. It's at 165. You're good. But if you boil it for an hour and 15 minutes, that under a 4-pound chicken will be done. But I actually cooked mine closer to an hour and a half on the induction stove top here. And so finally, this recipe calls for tons of black pepper. Fresh ground pepper would be great. And you can see we've got all the vegetables in there. That alone right there, without even the star of the show, the dumplings, we're building something here. And that's what we try to do here at Create, is to build homemade meals for you and your family that you don't have to run out and actually try to find something that's going to make everybody happy. Something like this, it's comfort food time this part of the year. We feel like if you can get something that just makes you feel good, that's a blessing. So we feel like this is medicinal. It's a good soup. And we're just topping it off here with the 2 teaspoons of sea salt right now. Again, all the ingredients will be down in the description box below. But as you can see here, we've got everything in the one pot. How easy is that? So make sure that you get that together and just set it and forget it for a minute, because now you got to go to the next thing, which is the star of the show, which are the dumplings. The first time I made dumplings, I was with my mother. She's a Southern mom, and she showed me how to make dumplings. I used to have to roll them out for her because she had arthritis. But over the years, I've actually figured it out and made sure that there was a purpose behind everything I was doing. So to make the dumplings as light, but firm enough to handle the boiling water that's in the pot. You can see here, I've got about a half stick of butter, 2 cups of flour. I'm using self-rising flour here. So I'm not putting any baking powder or anything like that in there. And I'm not using any salt. That's key, because I'm using just some chicken broth out of a can. And of course, this chicken broth has salt in it. So you don't want to make anything too salty. So we do layer seasonings, but you don't want to overdo it. This right here is you want to make sure that the consistency of the flour is not too clumpy. So you don't want to pour all the liquid in all at once. You just want to put it in as you go. You don't want it just want it to be just right. You don't have to have it where it's all together, but you're going to be putting it together because you're going to end up kneading it with your hand and the rolling pin and that sort of thing. A lot of times you don't want to overwork your dough and that sort of thing. But you can see how simple that was. All we really did was use 2 cups of flour, about 3/4 cups of chicken broth, a half stick of butter, and we're kneading now. And it's a process. So we're going to keep kneading the dough, and then we're going to roll it out. So I'm going to toss some flour here just to get the surface right so it doesn't stick to the surface. And we're just going to go ahead and knead it, and just making sure that it comes together the right way. The thing about these dumplings, you want to make sure that they're thin. I don't really want to teach you how to make something very thick and gooey and gummy. So I'm going to make them very thin. I'm going to roll them all the way out. Not to where they're paper thin or anything, but they're going to hold up in the boiling water. And that's very important. But you'd still want them thin. You don't want the thick ones. They taste better if they're thin. Just my opinion. So you can take that however you want. But I just know that making this for a long time now, and I do like it where it's a little flatter. So after I got done there, I just let it sit for a while. I covered it for a while and just let it sit for about 20 minutes. And then just came back with sections. I didn't try to roll out everything all at once. I did it in sections. So you've got your little piece here. Put that, get your rolling pin, maybe put some flour on it. And then just start, rolling it, taking your time. Your broth is brewing. And then once you get done with this, you'll have it ready to go. The broth for me here, the way I timed it, it was finishing up actually as I was doing this. And so what I did was I took the chicken out of the pot, let it drain and cool, and then brought the pot back up to a nice little bubble. So I could start preparing to drop the dumplings in the pot. So you can see here, we're just making strips, and then we're going to cut across. We really enjoyed making this chicken and dumplings. We've had it for years, and it does bring back memories. And if you need some comfort food in your life right now, this chicken and dumplings should suffice for that. You can see there, that's a full plate of dumplings, but we're going to repeat that a couple more times. And you can see here, we've got the chicken out, but now we're just going to drop the dumplings. This takes a while because you don't want to drop them all at once. You have to drop them individually and try not to, clump up on each other, bang them up. It's hard to do that, but, I'm going to be using this little tool here just to move them out the way without separating them or bruising them or making them fall apart. So you can see they all did kind of stay together too. So you want to cook that down for about at least 20 minutes before you add anything in there. And just keep adding your dumplings. Once you've added all of them, you do want to let it brew for a while, for about 20 minutes. And now they've been in there for a while. And now we're just going to go ahead and remember the chicken from the beginning. That's the chicken. That was a really good chicken too. So again, make sure you get quality chicken when you're doing this. A lot of people like to use a stewing hen. You can't find those too much anymore. But yeah, you can do it either way you want. This right here is we're dropping it in there, and then we're just gonna let that cook and melt together. And once that melts together, we're just about ready to plate and get this thing together. But you can see that one chicken actually will suffice for the pot that we have here. And you can see everything's kind of bubbling. And we're going to move it around just a little bit. We're not going to be too rough with it. Again, you want this to cook together here after you cooked your dumplings. You want to make sure that the chicken is incorporated. And that's how simple this is. Again, it's not an easy recipe because you really got to take the time, but it's simple. And so we've got that here. We're going to go ahead and, like we say plate it up, but we got a bowl here. We're going to put it in and we're going to load the bowl up and garnish it for the thumbnail shot. And we really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you share it if you can. We're trying to get our viewers up, the views up to about 100. And then after that, we got a surprise for you guys. So you can see I added the black pepper, and that's a gorgeous finish. Thank you so much for watching.